Now it's been 15 years since Iron Man 2. Can you believe that? Iron Man 2, 15
Yeah.
years old.
Oh my God.
Which was also a little bit of a wild, like,
Well,
script
I
in
was going to reference.
progress.
That's another one where I felt as safe in a very in the studio world was with John Favreau and Justin Theroux.
Even though the script was moving, you felt safe because they were
Yeah,
smart
but
guys and they would figure it out.
yeah, I felt safe there because Thoreau had written a script. That was really interesting because Mickey Rourke. Uh, well, first of all, I used to just go over to Thoreau's place where we met in Williamstown doing theater,
Yeah.
and friends with Billy Crudup. I was with him in 9/11, him and Billy in Toronto. So we were old friends, and then he had written Tropic Thunder with Ben Stiller, and then I heard he was going to do Iron Man 2. He was going to write it, and so I would go over to his house a lot, and we'd make strong coffee and smoke cigarettes, roll cigarettes, and I said, "Where are you going?" He said, "I got to go. I got to pack. I'm going to LA." I'm like, where are you going?" "I'm going to write Iron Man 2." I'm like, "You're kidding me." "Oh, that's amazing. I love Iron Man. I want to be in it." He's like, "Well," I'm like, "Well, why don't you guys write me a part as the bad guy or something?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah, sure, sure." So now I was already dating Leslie, and I had been with them right before the opening night of the first Iron Man, and they were very nervous about it. We were
Yeah.
at this dinner, and they were like, "I don't know," and then of course it exploded, and so I loved the movie. I really, really thought that movie, it obviously reinvented the genre, and then now you got Deadpool and all this stuff. So, um,
It should be said, just for context also, correct me
yeah.
if I'm wrong, you had a moment. You talked to Favreau. I know you didn't officially audition, but he talked to you about the
Okay,
role.
so all very strange because I was also doing a movie called G-Force
Yes.
with Zach Galifianakis, where Favreau and I played guinea pigs.
Right.
Okay, so um, somehow I wanted to get in the room with the actors, which I like to do with this animated stuff. So
Yeah.
um, I try to get in the right Anthony Ramos and Zazie Beetz and like Nora who Aquafina. We got in the room and we do the voices, and I did that with Favreau as the guinea pigs, and we actually the guinea pigs are like fighting.
Right.
So like Favreau and I were like wrestling on the ground, and it was like we had mics on us, and so so he says, so we do like I think we did one or two sessions like that, and after Thoreau went to LA, I guess he pitched me for the bad guy, and Favreau said, "Why don't we split the bad guy into two bad guys, and we'll have like a Frankenstein's monster, and then like a Frankenstein."
Right.
And so it was kind of
Mickey.
like, yeah, Lex Luthor and whatever.
Right.
So
The brains and
Mickey
the brawn.
became the muscle, brains and
Yeah.
brawn. So although Mickey's kind of the brains too, but um, so then anyway, this is a long story, but
No, no, I love it.
basically
Yeah.
he said, "Come meet, the Marvel guys." So they came to the fucking G-Force session, met with them, and and then it was kind of happening. And then Justin wrote this great monologue, and then they changed the lines, and we had to write a speech at lunch, and I had to use an earwig, and Mickey was speaking Russian, but we shot the whole thing in order, and Mickey didn't want to meet me until we were on film. He wanted our characters to meet on film, no rehearsal. And that's what happens. The first time you see our characters meet on film, that's the first time I ever met Mickey. And the cameras are rolling. And we had a great time. And then because we were shooting it in order, our scenes, we could kind of do whatever we want, narrative wise. So he said, like, I want my parrot in the movie.
Right.
And then Favre was like, all right, we'll put your parrot in the movie.
I remember
And
at
they
the
put his,
junket, he brought his little Chihuahua, I think, on as
yeah,
well.
there you
Yeah.
go. So that was a very actor friendly experience.
So, but I mentioned it, but am I wrong? Was there a real conversation for Iron Man at any point, like before Iron Man
Oh
2?
yeah, there was, but it was very brief.
It was a
I
second.
talked to Favreau because I'd done Made with Favreau and Peter Billingsley, and they called me. They said, "Would you be interested?" I said, "Yeah, sure." And they said,
Yeah,
"Well, we're talking to some people." And then I think basically Downey did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and then he screen tested, and then he
yeah,
got the part. But yeah, there was a brief conversation,
yeah.
and I
Did
said something. I don't know what I said.
so the last few years, Justin Hammer keeps coming back up as like rumored to come back. Like Armor Wars is this thing that
Yeah.
was going to be a series or a movie, or we don't know. Like, have
Well,
you
yeah,
heard?
there was talk of a series, but I think the movie thing would be exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a character that there's still some juice to be
There might be
squeezed
some
from.
juice. Yeah, yeah. I don't know what you get out of that guy. I mean, he's essentially Lex Luthor. It's Gene Hackman, Lex
Right,
Luthor.
right, right,
It's
right,
the
right.
same character, really. So, um, yeah, it's a comedic device. That character,
Yeah.
mostly.
All right. I don't.
Although he was in prison, so it could get weird.